In this video, we're going to take a look at how to create various flooring materials in your Keystone library by dividing up floors and creating parts, so that way we're able to change these out easily and effectively. One thing I'm going to have to show is in the level 1 floor plan, I have one room that I'm going to designate either as like a computer lab or maybe a children's reading space. And right now, as it stands, I've got a concrete floor for this area. So I'm going to go ahead and hide these walls in the south view. And actually, I'm going to change this flooring. So if I select it, it's a 5-inch concrete slab. I'm going to go ahead and move to level 1. So once you have something selected, sometimes it's easy to grab to select it in the 3D view and then move to level 1 and it will still stay selected for you. I'm going to go ahead and edit the type. This was a flooring type that I created earlier. So this is a custom flooring type. So I can actually edit this flooring. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to insert a layer, move it up above the wrap, and I'm going to change it to the function to be a finish. For right now, I'm going to go ahead and make this concrete, cast in place gray. So same as the main structure, but I'm going to go ahead and just make this 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to go ahead and take off 1/4 of an inch from the structure. So 4 3/4 of an inch, just to make some life a little bit easier. So we still maintain the 5 inches thickness for the floor, but now we've got a thin layer on the top to be able to go through and to edit. And the reason why I'm doing that is because if right now, if I was to add another layer onto the floor, if I added 1/4 of an inch, when I look at my elevation, I would either have to modify the levels or I would have to go through and offset every single item that I put on the first floor by 1/4 of an inch. So this will go through and help me out a little bit. When I have the floor selected, I'm going to go ahead and choose under the Create panel and choose Create Parts. And now I'm going to choose Divide Parts. And then I'm going to edit the sketch. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and move down into this area, and I'm going to pick the lines. So utilizing this command, and I'm going to go to start down here in the bottom left corner, and I'm going to pick the outside edges of the walls to make that happen. Now, one thing that'll probably happen as I go and I move up here is I may need to go through and pay attention to how the walls, you're going to see this line got extended past. I'm going to come back for that and do a little cleanup in a last minute kind of looking at what I need to do to kind of clean up my sketch. So starting down here in the bottom left corner, everything looks good. No lines overlapping or anything there. And then when I go, I'm going to use Trim Extend a Corner, and I'm going to click on the items that I want to keep, and that'll trim that back to that corner. Going over to this corner here, same thing. I do have a little gap here. If I need to extend that to meet, I can click on the 2 lines that I want to be extended. And then my bottom right corner of my wall, same thing, I need to clean that up a little bit. Okay, everything looks pretty good right now, so there's just the room itself with it outlined. I'm going to go ahead and hit the green check mark, and I'm going to hit it one more time to finish editing. Now you're going to see when you select your floor, you have this area, and then you have the rest. So when I choose this area, if I scroll down in my menu, I can find Material by Original, and it has the concrete noted as a material. If I uncheck this box and then click on in the material box below, I can actually choose now, let's make this a carpet material. It's going to have the same kind of, in this view, the same kind of material appearance as far as the surface pattern. But if I go to the 3D view, you're going to see now, and this is in the realistic setting, you're going to be able to see there's the red carpet pattern that you can see. If you zoom in, there's the pattern of the carpet fiber and everything as well. And then there's the concrete floor for the rest of the area. And you could continue to divide up. If you needed to go back, you can always continue to divide parts, edit the sketch, and go into, I'm going to go back into level 1 and continue to go through and edit certain areas of your first floor. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the X a couple times so that way I can keep what I've done in the previous steps. Now when I look at level 2, here's the second floor. I'm not going to go through the process of dividing up and creating the parts, but we do want to go through, and from the previous video, again, this was a floor we custom created. I'm going to hit edit type. I'm going to edit the structure. I'm going to do the very similar thing. I'm going to insert a layer on the top. For right now, I'm going to make it a concrete layer, concrete cast in place gray. And I'm going to go ahead and do 1/4 inch. And I want to take 1/4 inch off from the structure. So I'll do 3 3/4 inch. Again, still keeping that 4-inch thickness, but yet allowing us to go through and do that. And without causing a lot of error or issues with changing up levels or anything as such. So now, nothing really changes for the material, for the flooring, until you specify what divisions are put in and what flooring materials that you want to go through and make different areas of our building. So this will conclude our floors. In the next videos, we're going to take a look at stairs and circulation using an elevator.